Nice, Jennifer. You did it. You did it. Did day 2 of primer, kicking your booty. Legs swole. What's up, James, Jennifer, Dale, Michael, Anetra? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Bum, ba-da-doom, doom, doom, ba-doom, doom. Fitness without the bullshit.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test ickles, testing, test ickles, test ickles, test ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 921 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, slaycast, mancast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Our biceps. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome wherever you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, wherever I shall stream, and I shall stream everywhere if I can. Reminder to everyone that is slacking, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do so. And giving extra kudos to those of you that are leaving awesome iTunes reviews. I appreciate that. If you listen to the podcast, make sure you leave a review, especially if you are an iTunes person. That means a lot, and it makes a huge difference in the visibility of the podcast. So if you do, I am more than happy to give you a shout out and to rep ya here on the show. I love to read reviews and things that people, sweet nothings. I like to share your positivity and your feedback on the show. So if you are so kind, I'd like to make a big push today. Take a few moments, go drop a review on iTunes, an honest review. That's all I ask. And I would be very, very thankful. And I'm going to get back into, I always say I'm going to get back into reading those reviews. And I would like to, like the review of the week or something like that. But I do have a lot of good ones. A lot of you leave some great shit. You leave some great shit. You leave some great feedback. And I love it because I don't really see necessarily every single message that you're dropping me all the time, but I love the support, and it's like giving me a round of applause. Pat Papa Swole on the back. Stroke my beard. That's what it does. It strokes my beard. It sure does. So today we're going to talk about pushing and pulling in Pumptown. I want to go over just a couple things. A very simple workout I did today. Chest and schback. I did some chest and schback, and it felt good. I really enjoy push and pull. And we like to talk about program design on the show, and a lot of distractions that people are losing themselves with in the gym. You know, there's a lot of options that you have with training styles, with repetition schemes and things like that. And there's a lot of overthinking that you are doing. A lot of overthinking. I get a lot of messages in my DM piece, in my box. You're sliding in my DM and you're dropping all these comments like, what about time under tension? What about the eccentric? And it's like, yo, you got to just fucking lift some weights. Most of you are worried way too much about these details and shit that you read online, or you read one science book and all of a sudden you're trying to break down every different component of a muscle contraction. And most of you just need to fucking train harder. Most of you just have to train harder. You have to stop worrying about all this information. And I talked about this yesterday, that there's too much knowledge out there in many cases. You know, you go back into Arnold's day and these guys were just figuring shit out. They were doing isometrics, they were doing negatives, but they were lifting hard and they were crushing their muscles. And bottom line, if you are fatiguing your muscles and you're overloading, you're going to get great results, especially if you're recovering properly and you're eating big. And it takes a lot of time. And it doesn't mean that you don't train hard. It doesn't mean that you just sit back and have patience and, okay, well, it just takes a long time. And if I just keep on going, I'll get results. That's not true. You still have to crush it. But you need to understand that it's going to take you years to put on a lot of muscle. It's going to take you time to build a physique. Years, not months, years. Not a 6-week shred. You see a lot of that bullshit now on Instagram. Join my 6-week program, my 6-week challenge. That's all it is. It's a 6-week shot in the dark bullshit thing that someone is trying to make some money off your back. All those things are crocks of shit, okay? Because they don't set you up for the long term. It's going to take time, all right? So that being said, how many of you do a push-pull workout? How many of you like supersets? And what do you use push-pull for? A lot of people do chest and back. Some people do buys and tries. What the fuck do you do with your push-pull? I'll give you a couple minutes to write in the comments below. I'll get some other stuff ready, take my time, leave a little air silence, just chill out a little bit. What do you like to do? Just drop that down below. I'm going to check a couple things on my phone, fuck around a little bit. All right. The basics. The basics work. That's really what this... Sorry for those who listen to the podcast. I get this like buzzing. I get this weird buzzing noise sometimes. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Weirdest thing. I don't know what that comes from. So sorry for the clanging, but this is life. I just felt like punching the shit out of it for a second. So let's get some feedback. Matt, honestly, the best thing I have learned in the aspects of training is the basics from Papa. Agreed. Cool. Glad. Colton, I'm so glad I started listening to this before I started my bulk. I have such a more realistic idea of what to expect. And I'm getting some splits, chest, back, shoulders. That's a big fucking day. Legs, biceps, triceps. So bottom line, if you want to put on mass, I'm just going to tell you like it is. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype with all this total body bullshit. You're not going to put on a ton of mass doing total body. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what study or what article or what blog you read. If you want to bulk up, if you want to put on size, if you want to develop your muscles, you're going to have to focus on shit. You're going to have to overload the body. You're going to have to find that nice balance between frequency and volume. You're not going to get it by just doing a total body workout a couple times a week. That's for beginners. Let's just call it what it is. That's for beginners. That's for noobs. That's for entrance into training. Okay? You can use it as an expert. You can use it in more advanced methods as kind of like a deloading, kind of like a breather from doing focused overload training. But it's very important to give your body the ability to overload those muscles. And I personally am not a fan of being in the gym for 2 fucking hours at a time. It's way too long. You're going to get fatigued and you start having that period where more is not better. Okay? More is not the answer. Training more, doing more sets, doing tons and tons and over. There's a point where you have to just cut your, you have to stop it. And I've done total body workouts. I've done total body training and it feels good. You don't get that sore. You don't get that overloaded. You can train it more frequently, but you also don't get that pump. You don't get that hypertrophy effect in the same manner as when you are focusing on specific muscle groups. And that's not to say that you need to do a bicep day. That's not to say that you need to do a chest day. It's important to give yourself the amount of time to overload each muscles. Can you define beginner? Yeah, beginner is usually if in your first couple years of lifting. Yeah, first couple years. That's when you are a beginner. And everyone's going to progress differently. There really isn't a definition for a beginner, but everyone's going to progress differently. Most people don't figure shit out until years into their training. So if you're in your flow and you think you know everything, chances are you don't know much, or you certainly don't know everything because no one does. And it's a whole work in progress because the more you learn and the more you expose your body to, then you have to change things. Then your body gets used to those things and you have to mix things up, and then you have to add more stimulus. You have to add more overload. You have to tweak things a little bit differently. But you absolutely need that overload. That's how you are going to build muscle. So that's how you're going to push past those adaptations. That's how you're going to push past those plateaus. That's how you're going to get past that type of balance point, that adaptation point. You have to add more. It's called progressive overload, where you're adding more. You adapt to it, you add more. You adapt to it, you add more. And that doesn't necessarily mean just weight. It doesn't mean that you're just adding more resistance. It doesn't mean that you're just always concerned about how much poundage you're lifting. It's also the volume. And you can also play with the frequency. Like I mentioned in the past, it also depends on how many days you can get to the gym, how frequently you can train, what you prefer, how much time you have to spend in the gym. Those are all factors. So for some people, a total body workout might be exactly what Papa Swole ordered. But for a lot of you, even women that are trying to build their body, that's what bodybuilding is, building your body, you need that kind of overload. And if you are segmenting or breaking up certain areas of your body, so you could have focused training sessions on that. And then you're also tying it in with yoga. You're tying it in with some kind of total body aspect. it's going to be extremely beneficial, especially as you move past those initial months of just getting your feet wet. And like I said, when it comes to a beginner or advanced, it doesn't mean that you're not going to know what you're doing in a year. Okay. But when you're new to the gym, remember your body only knows what you expose it to. So if you're just new to training and you've been training for 6 months or a year, how many different things have you given full 100% effort to in the course of a year? Really only 1 or 2 things maybe, because you need a few months to really flesh some of these things out. So whether or not you are a cerebral beginner, you can learn a lot in a short period of time. You still have to put your body under these adaptations. And literally through going, me personally, in my career, in my experience, going through these different phases of wanting to bulk, wanting to get lean, wanting to do more endurance, wanting to do both, you learn what your body has limitations with. You learn what you can do, what you can't do. You learn when it's too much. You learn to listen to those voices, and you learn to ignore them sometimes. But a lot of that comes from experience, understanding what your body is telling you when it's tired or when you feel stiff or what you need to do. And as you get older and as you've been training like myself for 15, 16, 17, 18 years, you also have that wear and tear, and that psychological and physical wear and tear where you just, in my case, I don't know. I go through periods of wanting to get bigger and then just not caring at all and just wanting to lean down and just be more mobile. There's a lot more of that longevity and wanting to be more mobile in my existence. I don't really care so much about putting on absolute size. I still want it, but just the effort that it requires is less and less attractive to just keep on lifting heavy and get huge and get huge. It's just, it's a rat race, and you're just like a hamster on a wheel, and it's very, very challenging and very, very difficult. And I always try to reiterate that to everyone that's trying to bulk up or trying to build muscle. Even if you're trying to put on 5 or 10 pounds, that's not easy. Like, you have to eat a lot. You have to train really hard. And then you have to whittle down the body fat without losing the muscle mass. Like, you have to do these things carefully, and it doesn't happen in a period of weeks. It happens over the course of several months or years. And it depends on what you're trying to build, a physique. You're trying to look a certain way. You want the scale just to say a bigger number. Understanding why you're trying to do what you're doing really helps. And that'll help you be consistent. So all of you that are like kind of in the wind and struggling with what you'll call motivation and, staying excited about things, you're never going to stay excited. But if you have that foundational, okay, I know why I'm doing this. I know why I'm training hard. I know why I'm going to the gym. I know why I'm getting up early. I know why I'm eating all this food. You're going to have more of a understanding of that longevous approach. You're going to have a lot more respect for the patience that it takes to keep working hard, but also to understand that you're going to have those ups and downs, and that you need to stay the course. You need to stay the course and stay consistent and stay focused, right? What's going on, Instagram? What up, what up, what up? We got a lot of people in here today. A lot of people. It's a good time for the Swole. Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Blowing it up on a Tuesday. Amanda, I started lifting at 16 when racing dirt bikes and stepped it up at 17 while training for WWE. Oh, look at you. I'm 35 and have worked out off and on since I started. I'm nowhere near a pro. Well, it's always humbling to think of yourself as a beginner. It's always humbling to remember and remind yourself, okay, there's still a lot to learn. And for me, there's still a lot to learn. I'm still learning about myself. And like I said, after this entire journey of lifting heavy and bulking and getting big, that's okay. It's nice, and it's relaxing to not have to worry about stuffing my face. That's why I'm so big on not counting calories and focusing on the best foods, because I want to feel good with what I'm eating, period. I want my body to like the food that I'm consuming. And then if you're wanting to bulk or cut, then you can just adjust the ratios of the foods and the quantities of the foods that your body reacts best to. It's just hard to fucking pound food. It's hard to eat more than what satisfies you. It's hard to overeat with quality food. It's easy to do that with garbage. And that's why people do dirty bulk, right? That's why people always just fucking get fat when they try to bulk, usually because they're eating crap, because it's hard to get in that kind of calories, right? It's hard to get a lot extra. It's hard to get a lot extra when you're eating calorically dense foods. Just got back from the gym. Today I felt like shit, didn't want to go, but I finally went and it's been awesome. Heathen Crow. Yeah, preaching back to the video I posted yesterday. Whenever you don't want to go, that's when you got to go. Whenever you don't want to go to the gym, that's when you really need to buck up and go, because that's what's going to create the discipline. It's straight consistency. It's straight just making it such a relentless habit that there's no other option. It's just such a part of your life that you're going to the gym today. You're going to go to the gym today. You don't feel like it? No one cares. No one cares. Like, I don't care if you feel like going today. You don't care if I feel like going today. The only result is, did you do what you needed to do, or did you not? And that doesn't mean push yourself when you feel run down and fucking wiped out all the time. That's where the experience comes in. There are some periods where I will go to the gym, not feel that good, so I cut it short. I'm like, I am not mentally into it, because if you're not focused in the gym, you can get hurt. Let's not forget this. When you're in the gym, that's medical shit. Like, you're overloading your body. You're overloading your bones. You're overloading your muscles. You're overloading your body in risky positions. So let's not forget that you can get fucking hurt in the gym. You can get badly injured in the gym. So if your head is not into it, if your body is kind of feeling a little bit worn down, that's not always a reason to take off. But mentally, if you're just not mentally focused, you have to be careful, because sometimes if you go to the gym and you force it and your head is not in the game, you can get hurt. So there's that fine line between forcing it, pushing it, doing it anyway, and then also, okay, I need to just clear my head. I need to go meditate, do some yoga, do some foam rolling, some mobility work, and I'll crush it tomorrow. The sun will rise tomorrow. I can get it tomorrow. And that's very valuable too. And I do that myself, but I don't really schedule necessarily days off. I just allow them to come up, and I listen to my body. And if I want to take a time off, if I want to do more mobility, if I want to do more yoga, then I go that direction. So that's an important component of your training, is to move on the fly. That's why I don't like scheduling rest days, because sometimes I don't want to rest. I want to fucking train hard. And other days I might want to rest, but it's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to do this today. That's why I like kind of doing like a general push-pull split. I like that. I like chest and back. I like legs by themselves. I like doing arms. I like getting that kind of overload. I like doing a 3-day split for my body parts, and then doing yoga and taking a day off in between, repeating. So what I'm doing now, and the reason why today it's called Push, Pull, and Pumptown, is because I want to encourage all of you to find that nice balance between volume and frequency. And that's going to be different for everyone. I made most of my gains doing a split, doing a classic bodybuilding split, chest and tries, chest and bis, chest and back, the kind of stuff I just mentioned. Some people like that total body upper lower. Some people like that. I don't feel like I get enough overload on my arms. If I'm just doing upper body, I'm doing push, pull, I'm doing chest and back. You don't get as many sets in for shoulders, for biceps, for triceps. However, that's more of a bodybuilding approach. It's more of like a physique approach. It's more of an aesthetic approach. Not so much, okay, can you improve your strength? That's a whole different conversation. And that's where people get that confused. They confuse, building just general weight or general muscle and general strength with actual physical development and actual muscle hypertrophy and specific muscle hypertrophy. Most of you, whether you admit it or not, want to look a certain way. You don't really care if your bench is 200 or 225. You want your chest to be bigger. Am I wrong? Most of you don't care if you curl 40s or 60s. You want your biceps to be bigger. If your biceps were bigger curling 40s, would you care? Chances are you probably wouldn't. And this is the conversation that I'm trying to make more popular. What are you really trying to accomplish? And then really programming your training around what you want to happen. So doing strength training and trying to load more weight on the bar, we've all seen people that are very, very strong on Instagram and all these fitness videos you see posted all the time, but they don't look that big. They don't look like a bodybuilder. They don't look like they have the entire physique. They might squat 500 pounds, but for me, I don't care if I squat 500 pounds. That's not a goal. That's not anything that's valuable to me. Do I want to look like I squat 500 pounds? I would much prefer to look like I squat 500 pounds than to actually get to that point. And that's just my personal preference. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be strong. It's just that transition between how you're thinking about the numbers. And strength does have muscle components. But as we've discussed before on the podcast, from a neurologic standpoint, from a neuromuscular standpoint, you can build strength without building more muscle mass. There's some crossover, there's correlation, but you don't necessarily have to get exponentially stronger to get exponentially bigger. They're not parallel. It's not like the stronger you get, the bigger you get. That's not how muscle works. There's hypertrophy, there's volumization of the muscles, and there's also, neural recruitment and synchronization of, of muscle contractions that will allow for greater force production so you can lift more weight. And you can have both. You can train for both, but that's why you'll see some people that are super strong that don't look a certain way, or that look a little bit more slender or not as bulky as some other people that look bigger. You have people that have different adaptations. And when you look at a bodybuilder versus a power lifter or versus someone who's really strong, sometimes the bodybuilder is bigger than someone who might lift more weight, and that just comes down to how you're training. And of course, some genetics too. But nutrition, programming, your overall goal, because of course, if you're training to be a bodybuilder, you're training for a physique, you're training for visual as well as health and strength and so forth. You're going to train differently. You're going to look differently than someone who's training, I just want to get stronger. I want to get stronger. Totally different goal. Totally different goal. And most people misinterpret this as I need to get stronger because I want to get bigger. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's not about getting as strong as you possibly can. That's not going to be what keeps on getting you bigger and bigger and bigger. That's not the answer to everything. It's a component. And that's why you could have people that look fucking great and wow, they look big, but they might not be quite as strong as someone who just trains for strength. And the issue with training for strength is that there is a point of diminishing return. There is that point where you're just adding more and more risk to your training. And is it worth it for you? Is it worth it to keep on trying to overload the bar, to overload all these joints? Because eventually shit breaks. It's hard to recover. It just gets very, very strenuous. A lot of it gets to that point. It does. It always does. And once you have one of those injuries, you're going to be in a sticky situation, and it's hard to come back from that, especially as you get older. So the more reps you do, the more exposure you have to training, the more wear. You're like a car that doesn't get any parts replaced. You don't change your own oil. You have to take care of your body. And that's where the active recovery and yoga and stuff comes into play. So today's workout, brought to you by Push Pull and Pumptown, brought to you by episode 921, but our sponsors, Everest and K2, flexing on you. So the gain train, I did a low. I didn't do a ton of volume today. I kind of went there and I kind of crashed out once I started. I just didn't want to be there too long. So I had a nice workout. It was nice. I did incline. What'd I do? I did incline. I almost forgot what I did for back. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did incline dumbbell and I superset. That was a casual superset. Incline dumbbell with pull-ups, max pull-ups and some isometric holds. Then I went into incline fly superset with close dumbbell presses at the end, get the inner chest and really get a good pump burnout. So incline fly. And I went a little bit higher on that incline than I normally do, but it was a great stretch. I haven't done flies in a while. So that was excellent. And I supersetted that with some cable pull downs, some lat pull downs, getting a real rounding in the back on the way up, getting a full stretch in the lats, arching the back on the way down. So that was a real good combination. And I finished up all of that with some weighted negatives, negatives with pull-ups when super wide. So I did sets of 5 to 8 negatives, and I did chest dips, and I only used like a 45-pound plate, but I did as many reps as I could. Then I banged out some negatives after that, and that was it. So I probably did for chest and back, probably did about 15 sets each I wasn't counting, but it was a good workout. I did some calves at the end, but I really like push-pull because it allows for me to play around with the volume. Sometimes I might come into the gym and be like, I'm doing chest and back, but I'm going to crush. And I do a ton of volume. And then I'm less likely to do chest and back again in 4 or 5 days. Maybe I'll wait. Maybe it'll end up being a week before I hit chest and back again. But I like doing a 3-day split because I can cut down on the volume and focus more on frequency. I like to toe the line between volume and frequency and work on a 7 to 10 day cycle. So I train more frequently, but still segment my body parts. I don't necessarily like to keep it to a 7-day split. I think that's very arbitrary to do 7 days. We don't work on a 7-day cycle. That's just our calendar. So your body is always recovering, always building. Your body doesn't reset on a Monday. That's just your brain. So you don't have to stay on a 7-day split. A lot of you just like to do that because your schedule is regimented around a 7-day cycle, but your training doesn't have to. That's why a lot of times, or in all my programs, I don't do Monday, Tuesday. I list them as day 1, day 2, day 3. Even if it is a 7-day cycle, I number the days so you guys don't feel boxed in by it has to be done on a Monday, because that's a mental shift. You don't have to worry about it being on a Monday or on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter. A Sunday is the same as a Tuesday. It's just maybe the gym has different hours. The sun's going to rise and set. Everything's the same. Okay. Just because you're not working on a Sunday doesn't mean that it's any different. It's a rest day. It's an off day. It's a working day, whatever it is for your body, right? Oh, Samina, congratulations. Samina did her first pull-up today. Very good. How'd you get that first pull-up? Were you doing negatives like we've discussed? Jorel King, glad I get to finally see a live cast. Normally have to watch them after the fact. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's why I like to do the live cast at different times, because sometimes people can catch it that don't normally catch it. Happy Tuesday, Wiggins, on Instagram. Let me scroll down. That was an old comment. Oh my goodness. Instagram always get a lot of people just so-and-so joined. Not a lot of comments. Instagram's weird. It's hit or miss. Instagram's hit or miss. Facebook's bumping. We're bumping today. Facebook and the YouTube's a bumping. Oh, good for you. Excellent. So that was the push-pull. That was the push-pull feeling for today. But I also like supersets push-pull, if you want to consider buys and tries push-pull. And I play around. I used to do a separate shoulder day. I used to be that dude. I used to go, and I'm doing shoulders today. But here's the thing. You know, really, if you're training properly, you're training hard enough, and you're a natural lifter, and you're eating right, you got to be careful doing a separate day for shoulders. I mean, the shoulders get worked during chest. They get worked during back. They fucking get worked during legs. You're always using your shoulders, okay? And we have so much risk with our upper body already with upper cross syndrome and sitting and rounding and texting. You got to be careful, right? You got to be careful doing too much extra on the shoulders. So I like throwing them on arm day because I'll get those side raises in. I'll be able to get some prone press. I mean, if you're doing arms, just do the shoulders there too. You generally don't need a separate shoulder day. You really don't. You really don't. Because then you're just causing a lot more trauma in the shoulders than you probably need. I've done it before in the past, but for me right now personally, I'm not in like the shoulder by itself game. Every once in a while, I'll go and I'll do like focused isolation, activation. I'll do more volume, but more like strategic for like corrective exercise movements. You know, it depends. Do you ever train with resistance bands with overload? Not lately. Not lately. I don't do a lot of band work. I used to. I use bands for some things like for stretching and mobility, but I don't do a lot of band work these days. I used to if I was traveling more. They're easy to keep in your bag. If you're traveling a lot, getting a good set of bands are great because you just close them in a door, wrap them around a pole. If you're a personal trainer, you can throw them in your bag. Like they're light, they'll only weigh a couple pounds, but you can add a couple 100 pounds of resistance if you get quality bands. So there's nothing wrong with bands. I just don't use them all the time. It depends on what you mean. Do I use them with overload? Like, do I tie them to the bench and shit like that? I haven't done that in a minute. Dale, I understand we're all different, but is there a general rule for recovery time for certain muscle types? It's exactly the answer. You already answered the question. We're all different. Some people might not feel sore. They recover faster in their biceps or smaller muscles. Some people say that smaller muscles recover faster, but if you train them hard, like they can be fucking really sore for a while. So usually, I mean, if you're doing, and this is just a vague response to that. If you're training properly, you should probably give each muscle, I would say, 48 to 72 hours recovery before you hit it again. That's just general common sense. You're not doing, let's say, the same thing every fucking day. You're not doing the same muscles every day. Like if you're really trying to overload enough to add progressive overload, usually probably like 48 to 72 hours minimum, depending on the overload, the volume, the training, of course, like what your training split is, your experience, and so forth, right? There's a lot of different factors with how much a rest period should be. Tommy Mays, I only do like 4 sets for rear and side delt, and that's plenty. Usually it comes out that way. And I love doing higher reps for shoulders. Higher reps for shoulders is fucking killer. Killer. That's like the biggest. Shoulders are fucking amazing. Shoulders are amazing. You could do super, super heavy partial reps. I've done that in the past. Super heavy partial reps, which is like the bottom half of the movement, just pumping the shit out of them. And I love isometric holds at the top. A lot of cool stuff. I have some of that stuff in Swolenormous X, and a lot of the new stuff that I'm filming is going to be fucking ridiculous. But someone mentioned the virtual trainer, the shoulder virtual trainer the other day. I do some stupid shit when I get into the gym. I'll do some weird fucking things. That's great. Shoulders get so crazy pumped with high reps. So crazy pumped. Isometrics, the tits. So Sabina, you did negatives and you also did pull-ups with the help of a band. Negatives are king. Isometrics and negatives, you're trying to get your first pull-up, that is gold. Absolutely. Wow. Daniel, I do a 4-day split, but go to the gym 5 days since I want the symmetrical look. My 5 days for my weak point at that time. Right now, it's your arms. Building arms. Arms. Anyone else? Arms. Get those arm gains. Good for you, Mike. Mike's growing in his beard. A year from now, I'll have an Odin-worthy beard. It's a good choice. Good choice. Gains on gains. That's right, Brett. It's a great feeling looking in the mirror and seeing new muscles appear. Love you, Papa Swole. Love you too, man. Isn't that great? I remember the first time. I looked in the mirror, and this is when I was first lifting. This is like 2000. This is when I first started lifting, but this is like when I first started bulking, seriously, when I realized somewhere after freshman year that I was doing it all wrong, right? So it was like 2002. And I remember I was lifting hard, and I remember looking in the mirror. I remember the mirror, exactly the mirror I was looking at. It was one of those, body length mirrors, but it wasn't attached to a door. It was like leaning against the wall, like gangster style, like a lot of you probably have it. Just, leaning against the wall, and you can just look in the mirror. I remember looking at my arm and just seeing that bump down by the elbow, like a little bulge. And I was like, it was like that sudden shock. Oh my God, it's working. It's working. And that was it. Literally, that was the switch that was flipped because I was training hard and I was eating big. But when you first start, you're training, you're putting all this effort into it. You're just not seeing change. I literally had my head down. I was working hard. And then, following all these, professional bodybuilders, like the workouts they were doing. And I was learning in school and I was reading and I was studying and just training hard. And I remember the first time I saw the instance of progress. I remember that bulge. I remember that and thinking, literally, I remember like it was one of those light bulbs, like Looney Tunes or something like that. I remember seeing the bulge and thinking, holy shit, it fucking works. And the rest of my whole career is a blur. Like that was it. That was like, boom, switch was flipped, boom, sold. And I just kept on going. And nothing has gotten in my way since. It was just proof, like, oh, it works. You just have to fucking keep going. And so I did. And then I just kept on going and going and going. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I'm getting myself amped up to just make some sick gains. I'm getting myself amped up to start getting swole again. Yeah, like really. Like, trying to get myself amped up right now. Samina, so today I did my first pull-up, and you are talking about pull-ups in the Daily Swole. Each time I'm doing something or I have a problem, you have an episode about what I am confronting with. Well, I can sense what you need. I sense the Daily Swole is whatever you need it to be. It's going to be your inspiration. It's going to be some detail. It's going to be some fucking shit. What's your opinion on bamboo bars and working stability training? My thoughts? It's fine. Do yoga. Don't worry about the bamboo shit and the bands and all this, like, you're wobbling and oh my God. If you're not doing yoga, don't worry about that shit. Do all your other stuff first, and if you want to play around with that, that's fine. That's fine. You could do that too with push-ups with one leg. You could do that on a stability bar with just a regular bar and go super slow, time under tension. My opinion, it's going to work some stuff. But a lot of people that are doing the bamboo bar shit, they're like, their arms are like shaking like crazy. That's not working stabilization. That's your body fighting a new stress. Like you want to be able to stabilize it enough. So most people do that. They go way too heavy and they don't have control. So if you're going to do any of that stuff for stabilization training, just make sure that you have control over it. If you're shaking like crazy, that's not control. You're not adapting to it. And that's where most people get it wrong. Most people think that because they're not falling over or they didn't drop the weight on their face that they completed the set. If you're vibrating like crazy and you obviously don't have good control, then you're not teaching your body anything. You're not creating those neuromuscular mappings the right way. Oh, the coffee goes down into my fucking belly and it feels great. You said freshman year 2002, actually 2001 to 2002. Just wondering how old are you? Well, let's do some math, fam. When do normally people go to college? And then add 15 years. Come on, you can do it. What do you think, Jor-El? I'm going to let you guess. What do you think? When do people normally go to college? And then add the years. Come on. They usually go around 18 years old or so. And that was 15, 16 years ago. And then add that. You got it, bro. You got it. You're right there. You're right there. I'm going to let you work for it. Mike Stuttle. Mikey Mike. The hardest thing about losing a bunch of weight is wearing way smaller clothes. Even though you look better in your own mind, you still look weird in the mirror. I'm wearing 32s from a Wow, dude. I keep forgetting that. You lost a ton of weight, bro. I love those pictures. I'm wearing 32s, was wearing 44. Good for you, bro. Yashua. With the work that I do at my job and training all week, yoga is the glue that keeps it all together for me. Without it, I'll be dead. Once you do yoga, you realize how, and tell me if I'm wrong. I know I'm not. I'm just stirring this up. For those of you that are doing yoga now, that have never done it before, how many of you think, how the fuck did I make it this far in my life without yoga? That's what happens when you start practicing yoga. You have that epiphany when you're thinking, how the hell did I make it this far and not break myself in half? It's so amazing, and you feel so good when you practice it. You start to think, how did I make it without it? You feel bad for your body. Like, I'm sorry, body. I'm sorry I didn't give you yoga. I'm sorry I didn't give you any of this before. Cue the Jeopardy music. 40? Who the fuck said 40? Do I look 40? Fuck you. 40 years old. No, it's all right. It's okay. I'm going to be so yoked when I'm older. I'm going to be so fucking jacked. Only getting better. I'm getting better with age. And for those of you on the podcast, I'm not peeing. Oh, God. All right, maybe I was. No, I'm just pouring in some iced coffee. Jor-El King, I was just making sure you meant freshman year in college, not high school. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, 35. 35. Me, sorry, human of mine. I'm just kidding. I don't care. If you're guessing my age, I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. I told you to guess. So if you're going to guess 40, you'll guess 30. It's cool. The beard gives it a look. I mean, I have my glasses on. I got the beard all unkempt and shit. Well, how old are you, Jennifer? Ooh, I just asked the lady her age. Oh no. Cardinal sin. Yeah, I'm 30. Geez, I have to think. It's in 2018. 35. 35, for those of you that speak the Espanol. Karis, what up? Hi, all the way from Australia. What up, Australia? Oh, you're up early. Jeez. Australia was at 3 a.m. Hi, all the way from Australia. I'm a trainer, and it pains me to see young girls not lifting heavy enough. Oh, at the Gymshark girls? All their fancy little curls and their kickbacks with the bands, the booty builders. All the girls with the booty builders. It pains me to see young girls not lifting heavy enough, working hard enough, and using bands in their workout. Oh, I jumped to conclusions. You already said that. What's your thoughts on this? To be honest, it's everyone. Most people aren't lifting heavy enough or hard enough. Guys and girls, young and old. Most people don't lift or train hard enough. That's why most people don't get the results they want. That's why people like Papa Swole are in business. Because we are here to help. Well, some people are here to help, like myself. Some people are just trying to sell you some fucking 6-week challenge bullshit so they can make a few bucks. But most people don't work hard enough. Most people, whether they're men, women, young, old, they just don't train hard enough. That's why most people don't get results. Think about that. Think about why. It's not complicated. And that's why I said earlier in this episode, most people will ask a question based on the science. And I respect all the questions. And sometimes I just kind of, sometimes I playfully disrespect a question where it's like, just fucking focus on the basics. I know it sounds so stupid and rudimentary. It's like, don't worry about science. I'm not saying don't worry about science. I'm not saying that new research isn't beneficial, but I get people asking me about the blood flow restriction, tying the bands around your arm. God, people have been getting huge for decades without fucking tying tourniquets around their arms, without taking, Fit T and this bullshit, without all these bands. It's the fucking steel. It's lifting fucking hard. It's going heavier, doing more volume, pushing yourself, doing reps when you feel like your arm's going to fucking fall off. It's training your fucking ass off for years and eating to support your training. That's as easy as I can explain it. And that's the fucking truth. And there's all this other fancy shit that everyone's trying to create a product or a supplement or something that can trigger or that can respond or answer someone's problem. People's problem is that they're fucking impatient, that they think a certain product is going to be the answer when it's not. It's the fucking hard work and doing it for 20 years that no one wants to admit to themselves. No one wants to sign up. Like if hey fam, I create a new program. It's guaranteed to work. It's a 20-year program. A lot of people aren't going to sign up for that. But that's kind of essentially what I'm doing. All my programming is designed to educate people. Everything in Swole Enormous X and everything that I do with the 90-day dash and all my programs and workouts and everything that I do for the private community, that is all so you can build, develop, and grow and fucking stick your flag in the sand and not let anyone push you around and push you and waver you from your focus. You just have to make it part of your life. When it becomes part of who you are and what you do, you don't have to worry about time because time is going to pass. And if you're putting your fucking head down, you're working your ass off, it's going to pay off, but it does take time. And it's not always going to be easy. You're not always going to feel like it. And that's where people have fucking problems because they want to go to the gym and listen to good music and, oh, I don't like the music here. And, oh, but here are all my friends in these group exercise classes. Well, it depends on what you want. If you want to go to the gym for entertainment and for community, that's what you're going to get. If you want to go to the gym to put in some fucking work and get results, that's a whole different approach. And most people don't like to go to the gym and fucking go to work because they were working hard all day. I want to go have fun. I want to enjoy a Zumba class. Well, you're going to enjoy the lack of results too. That's what you're also going to get. So you got to fucking lift. You got to do yoga. You got to do this stuff and you got to do it hard. And you have to learn and you have to push yourself. And pushing yourself really means ignoring what your body has ingrained in your DNA to defend itself. Your body is trying to survive and not cause pain or defend itself against pain. And you're sitting here saying, okay, well, shut the fuck up, body. You're going to deal with this pain because this is where we need to go. And it's hard to push yourself through that kind of pain. It's hard to mentally overcome your body's every desire to stop doing a couple more reps and pushing through and doing 5 more or 10 more when your muscles are on fire. Most people can't do that. And that's why most people don't see change, because if you're not pushing through and you're not burning and your muscles aren't fucking crying and you think you can't do any more and then you do 5 more, if you're not doing that, then you're only doing what your body can handle. You're only working within that adaptation window. And if you're only doing what your body can already handle and you're only doing what your body is already adapted to, then you're not going to grow. You're not progressively overloading. You're just giving your body what it can handle. So if you're not going through the burn and beyond, you're not going to change. That's it. Done. This is the last episode ever of the Daily Swole. I just covered it all right there. Boom. We're done. We're going to stop at 9:21. Just kidding. Not stopping. Thanks, I agree. Refreshing to hear another professional. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, most people don't work hard. Simple. Most people don't work hard. Got to get the kids. All right. Go get them. Go get those jabronis. Get some fucking headphones. Yeah. Did someone complain about that? Did someone complain about the swearing? Was I talking too loud? Yeah, get some headphones. If you're listening to Papa Swolio, if you're listening to this podcast on blast, you got some stones. Bam. Nukes. Fucking nukes, yo. Nukes. Dropping just the knowledge today. Boom. That's why every episode's, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get a topic. You know what you're going to hear. You kind of get an idea from the title. You never know what's going to happen. In the midst of an episode, you get some fucking gems. What a great episode. I love it. You got a good rant. You got a good fucking rant going. That's why I had to start going to the gym by myself. My friends were just standing around and talking, watching videos on their phone, not get shit done. There for 2 hours. Yeah, they do no shit. Most people just fucking watch YouTube at the gym. Jason, too many people want the main priority of the gym to be fun, hence the group fitness rage. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. People want to have fun. There's nothing wrong with having fun and enjoying. You know what my fun is? My enjoyment is seeing results. My enjoyment is having a fucking killer workout and knowing that I'm going to go home, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to get some fucking results. That's my enjoyment. My peace of mind and my understanding that I know what I did and I did what I needed to do, and then I'm going to go home and start recovering so I could do it again tomorrow. Bam. You're becoming international. Papa Swole has been international for a while. We're pushing it. Go more international. I'm ready to keep on going. Yeah, we got so many people in the private community too, from Sweden, from everywhere. Sweden, Australia, UK. Love it. Where's everyone from? Before we wrap this up, where's everyone watching from? Drop in the comments right now. Where's your city, state, country? Where are you watching? What's up, Ramon? What up? Hello from Spain. Fucking hey, nice. Heavy metal, heavy lifting. Cheers. I love that. I like that. I'm picking up what you're picking up what I'm putting down. No, you mentioned about the tallywhackers. Tallywhackers? Where are you from? Not being fans of the tunes up in the gym. Oh, I see what you're saying. Tallywhackers. That's true. Yeah, well, I mean, those are for people that are going to the gym for entertainment. Oh, but I don't like the music. Oh, I see what you're saying. Put some fucking headphones in. I hate it when people complain about gym music. I don't always like the music at my gym, but if I'm recording a virtual trainer, I have to kind of deal with it, and you do too. But yeah, that's what headphones are for. Colorado, Germany, Indiana, Arizona, Spain, Iowa, California, Ohio. Shit. We are internet. Yeah. Sweden. Yo. Coast to coast. Coast to coast. Mile High City, Tennessee. Watching in Hotlanta right now, traveling for work. About to tear up this hotel gym. Nice. Yeah. Orlando. Solid. Tennessee. Josh, people have to figure out what works for them. I have figured out I lift 10 times harder when I lift alone and not in public gyms. But some people need people to motivate them. I don't like working out with a partner. I usually don't, because I like to push myself at my pace. Usually when I'm working out with someone, you kind of have to like adjust and you have to kind of work. Sometimes you have to modify your training to be more like their style, and you don't know everything about them. And it depends. If you have a really good training partner that's there all the time, that has the same passion that you do, it can work out, but it's hard to find people like that. And consistent like that, because you don't want to depend your workout. Oh, so-and-so can't work out today. Oh, can we go later? Okay, I'll go a little bit later. You don't want to throw off your routine for someone else. That's not a good thing. Mad City, Wisconsin, Romania, look, Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Mississippi, Wisconsin, everywhere. Got a lot of peeps around the world, around the country. Love it. Love it. So just a reminder, a follow-up. Those of you that are in Swolenormous X, remember, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the live release party for new content in Swolenormous X. So new stuff, new workouts, new virtual trainers. So I'm going to break down all the nitty-gritty of what is being released, where to find it, how to use it, take any questions, and a lot of new stuff coming. Oh my God, I got so much. Like literally, I have pounds of content, so many workouts in the workout archive and so much stuff coming. I'm just trying to organize my brain so I can make sure I put it all together. It's fucking awesome. So many workouts that I have for all of you. And of course, those will be organized into different program variations in the program vault. So again, Thursday night, 8 p.m. and we'll break it all down. So don't forget, mark your calendars. If you're not part of Swolenormous X, hook in, check it out, swolenormousx.com. You can take the tour. You can hook in for a 7-day trial, but live masterclass will explain a lot of things about form and some of the new releases, instructional videos, and trainers, and like the virtual trainer, new programs and such that I'm releasing Thursday. So that'll be cool. So those of you that are in, you can see that on Thursday. And let's see what else. What else is going on? It's coming up on Thanksgiving kind of time. Let's see here. Dale, side question. I lost my email for the Facebook private community. Can I request? Yeah. Dale, if you, assuming you lost your email, what to request access to it? Yeah, just go to the group. It's on my main Facebook page. Go to the group and request access, because you'll get a prompt and you just give your email that's associated with your Swolenormous X account. So it'll prompt you for your email, and then it'll get confirmed, usually within a couple hours. Pretty much whenever I see it. So, but I check it once in a while during the day. So just go request access and then use the email that you use in Swolenormous X. Kilos of gains. Wise words, Ramon. Hi from London. Hello. I found our waiting for people to go to the gym doesn't work for me. I don't like waiting to go to the gym. No, stick to your schedule. If you have a workout partner, and they can't make it on time, then just say, all right, I'll see you next time. I'm going to get my pump on. Don't push your shit around for anyone. Get your shit done when you need to get your shit done. Consistency is everything. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Push-pull for the win. I hope try that workout that I mentioned earlier this episode. If you like it, remember, find that balance, volume, frequency. We'll talk more. I'll give you some more workouts that I'm doing during the week. We'll discuss them. This week is going to be fire. Any questions? Remember, we'll do a Q&A on Sunday. We'll do another Muscle Monday next week. Got some great episodes coming up in the next couple days. More rage, more rants, more content as always. But I'll see you tomorrow for episode 922 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, Slaycast, Taintcast, Mancast, Beardcast, Tuesdaycast in Zarel. Because we're not flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. Don't forget, go subscribe to the podcast, swolenormousx.com. Click on podcast. You can also go there, take the tour. Hope to see you inside Swolenormous X for the masterclass Thursday night. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the DM, live chat on my site, anywhere. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And I'll see you tomorrow for 922. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.